Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep are the makers of premium mattresses that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently delivered right to your doorstep. We've had our Helix Sleep mattress now for a couple years and we are getting terrific sleep. My husband and I both took the Helix Sleep quiz, which allowed us to enter our personal needs. I happen to be a side sleeper, for example. I prefer a firmer style mattress and I share my bed with my husband. So the sleep quiz took both of our answers and came up with the perfect medium, and we matched with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe. We wake up well rested, our backs feel supported, and my favorite part is that it came conveniently rolled up in a cardboard box delivered right to our doorstep. So we were able to maneuver our mattress up a narrow flight of stairs, and I was able to install the mattress myself. And all Helix Sleep mattresses are fiberglass free. So at this point, everyone in my immediate family has a Helix Sleep mattress and they're getting great sleep, but we also have friends and family who've also gotten Helix Sleep mattresses and are loving them as well. Our Helix Sleep mattress has been really great to us, especially if you compare it to our old mattress, which we inherited, and while it served us well, it really was time to be replaced. Your Helix Sleep mattress comes with a 100-night sleep trial to make sure you love it. There's a 10-year warranty, and there are financing options and flexible payment plan. And if you live in the US, shipping is free. And your mattress will be conveniently delivered right to your door. Helix Sleep's President Sale is running now. It's a great time to upgrade. You can receive 25% off your purchase along with a free bedroom bundle for a limited time. Check out the Helix Sleep website for more details. Big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video so I can make better videos for all of you. So today we're going to be making a version of milk bread, that soft, pillowy bread you can find all over Asia, often square, toasts beautifully, you can get it thick or thin, it stays fresh for days, that bread. But we're going to be making a 1,000-layer version. So this literally doesn't have 1,000 layers, but it has several layers, and you can peel the layers apart. What is it about peeling that is just so satisfying and lovely? It's something that I have enjoyed since I was very small, peeling stickers off of things, peeling labels, especially when they come off cleanly. To this day, I love that sensation. It's just so grand. You know, maybe it's channeling old color forms. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So when I first learned about this bread, I needed to try and have that experience, but everywhere I looked online was sold out. So I said, I'm gonna make it myself. So I went to my local Chinese market because I needed to buy things for Lunar New Year as well. And look, what did I find? The peelable bread. So I am gonna be tasting the store-bought version, but I'm also going to be making a homemade version as well. We're gonna taste them side by side and just get a little comparison. Yay, fun! Also, happy Lunar New Year for those of you that celebrate it. Alrighty, so we're gonna be making milk bread. I will also direct you to a link down below where I made it for the first time. That was the Hokkaido style Japanese milk bread, in case you're curious to see that one. But for today's recipe, I'm going to be using this book for inspiration. This is The Walks of Life. It's written by the Leong family and they are lovely. Bill, Judy, Sarah, and Caitlin all wrote this book together. They are absolutely lovely. They have a beautiful website that share all of their family recipes and the recipes that they research and write. This book is full of stories and very well researched and tested recipes. Every one I've tried has been delicious, including the milk bread. So typical to most milk bread recipes is something called a tangzhong. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but it's basically a paste that uses water and flour that you cook and you add it to the dough. The idea being that it retains the moisture, it keeps the bread from tasting and feeling stale. So it keeps it nice and moist and pillowy for several days. It's a really wonderful method. And while it's not difficult, it just adds another step to the bread making process. I enjoy this recipe because it doesn't include that process at all. So we just mix everything together, which I like, and the results are famously wonderfully delicious. So here we are, milk bread. Isn't that gorgeous? So the recipe instructs pouring all the ingredients into a stand mixer, but you can also just use a large bowl. So I'm going to show you this method so that you won't be intimidated by the fact that maybe you don't have a mixer. I've used this bowl before, many people have asked about it, and it comes from William and Sonoma, but I purchased this from the thrift store for $5. Love this bowl because it's nice and big and wide, and you can see what I'm doing, but it's really great for bread making. We're going to add some cream, right? It's already going to be good. Milk, 1 egg, sugar, flour, which I've pre-measured, and this is dry active yeast, but the recipe says you can use instant yeast. Looks like it's interchangeable in this recipe. And salt. So now we're just going to mix this all together. I'm using my bread whisk. I like this very much. It will be somewhat sticky, it says, but that is often true of enriched breads. If you've ever made brioche before, you know what I'm talking about. Resist the urge to add too much flour. I learned this the hard way. The first time I made babka, I was like, oh my gosh, this dough is so sticky. So I kept adding flour to it, and then my babka was very, very dry and dense. So enriched doughs tend to be sticky and pretty moist, but as you develop the gluten or the protein in the bread, it gets a lot less sticky. Do you see why I love this bowl so much? There's plenty of room to manipulate your ingredients. I also love using this very inexpensive tool. This is a dough scraper. The rounded part is really great for scraping out your bowl, which makes it a lot easier to clean. Of course, if you're doing this in your stand mixer, you would just use your dough hook. Need this for quite a while. See, look how it doesn't hold its shape at all. See how it's just like falling apart? Because the gluten strands haven't been developed. So just give it some pulls and already it's kind of getting some elasticity, but it's still very shaggy. Alrighty, my lovelies, it has been almost 2 hours since I proofed my dough. Look how stinking cute. Here we go. This recipe makes 2 loaves of bread. So I'm gonna make one in this loaf pan, and the other I'm gonna put in my square Pullman loaf pan because we're gonna do the 1,000 layer style. 2/3 and 1/3. Flatten it to degas it. Degassing simply means to remove the CO2 that's built up as the yeast has been eating the sugar and creating carbon dioxide gas. That's what gives our bread the fluff, because I'm going to cut this into 3 pieces. And now we're going to take each one of these and roll it into a little cigar. Nice and tight. That little seam where it meets these 2 pieces, just going to pinch it up. And that'll slip right into there. Okay, now we're going to cover this and let this rise again for about an hour or so, or until it comes just a little bit above the top of the pan. Then we're going to take an egg and beat it up in a small dish. Use a brush and gently brush the tops of the risen buns, and then bake them in a preheated 325-degree oven for about 25 minutes, or until this is nice and golden and poofy. And then our bread will be ready to taste. Okay, so that's that. Now for the 1,000 layer bread. The plan is to roll this into a thin sheet. So this is a cool rolling pin. So it's got all these little nubbles, which is great for degassing. We're just gonna roll this out. Now I've got a stick of softened butter, bloop, and this is what will help separate the layers, and spread it all over. I'm gonna use my box as a bit of a cookie cutter to kind of give me an outline of each layer. So I'm going to make a plus sign like this and then stack the dough pieces on top of that. And that, of course, will live inside of here. Alrighty, so I have my little buttery stack here. Look at that. And now we're going to take our little sling and place it in our box like this, so that a little bit of space all around it. So now we're gonna let this proof at room temperature or around 80 degrees. And then we're gonna place the lid on it and bake it for 25 minutes at 350 degrees. Same bake time as the loaf. And hopefully we'll come back with a peelable bread. Alrighty, lovelies, see you in a little bit. Alrighty, lovelies, I am back with my little army of breads, and I have to say everything turned out famously. I mean, we haven't tasted them yet, that's why we're here, but everything looks beautiful. Here we have the beautiful milk bread. This was made with the extra dough that we had because the recipe makes 2 of these loaves. But look at that, look, you can see the swirl of the bread inside. Beautiful golden burnished color on there. And I did put some simple syrup, a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and water. Painted that on right when this came out of the oven, so that would give it a authentic Chinese bakery sheen. Gorgeous, right? And with the leftover scraps from our 1,000-layer bread, I made this little bun. Isn't she lovely? And I filled this one with chocolate. And then lastly, I pulled our 1,000-layer bread out of the pan, and look at it. Isn't it beautiful? You can see all the layers there. It took on a nice golden color. I baked this for 25 minutes at 350. I'll cut this one in half just so you can see what it looks like inside. Here we go. Look at that. All right, let's give that a taste. Itadakimasu. The chocolate's all melty. It reminds me a little bit of a chocolate croissant or a pain au chocolat because the chocolate has a little bit more bitterness. It's not just like a milk chocolate. Delicious. Now let's pull apart our milk bread. Look at that. Oh, wow. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Look how tender. A little bit sweet. Oh, so tender, rich. It's just so stinking good. So stinking good. Look how soft. So good. Bread, great. 4 of these breads were $3.99. Coconut and cocoa flavor. It looks like a cross section of sedimentary rock. Here we go, take a corner. Look, it peels beautifully, so effortlessly. Let's peel another one. Just grab it by the corner. Oh, that didn't peel as easily. That top one peeled beautifully. This one's not. This one's sticking. I don't like that. Okay, let's try this side. Oh, it's sticking too. The second layer does not want to come off as easily. Okay, not coming off. Oh, it's not peeling. Oh, this is not what I was hoping for. I was hoping that each layer would peel off beautifully and that you could eat it layer by layer. So I turned it over. Let's try the bottom. This is a coffee layer. Okay. Somewhat comes off. So the first layer comes off beautifully, and then after that, not so much, at least for this brand. Let's give it a taste. That's sort of like the heel of the bread. It's a little bit more rubbery. Ooh, very coconutty, like coconut extract flavor. A little bit sweeter than the milk bread. Strong Bacardi rum coconut flavor, which I don't really like as much. If you can imagine a slice of white bread and you took a rolling pin and you rolled it flat like that. Coffee. Subtle coffee flavor. Mostly I taste that coconut flavor. I'm not a fan of the coconut coffee flavor. I wish I could have found a version plain, but I could not. I have to say I was not very satisfied with peeling this. Let's try the homemade version. If we compare it to the store-bought version, this is probably about twice the size. I hope this peels. All right, let's see how this homemade one peels. It's peeling. Here we go, peeling. All right, we got ourselves a full layer. Beautiful. All right, let's see if we can get a second layer. Yes, third layer. Beautiful. Yes, this is totally working. So yay, we successfully made peelable bread. And this peeled much better than the store-bought version, but this was fresh out of the oven. So I think that might have something to do with it if it sits around and compresses and has time to re-stick together. It smells fantastic, bready, buttery. Here we go. Itadakimasu. It's got a great chewy texture. A little bit sweet, definitely saltier than the milk bread version. I use salted butter in between the layers. This definitely has a different texture than the standard milk bread. It's denser, it's not as fluffy, which makes sense because we worked really hard to get all of the gas or air out of there. Having said that, it's still absolutely delicious. This is fantastic. It's really a pleasure to peel the layers. Would I go to the effort to actually make this as opposed to just having a slice of milk bread? I don't think so, unless the peeling part really appeals to you. Before I go, I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna just cut this in half just to see what it looks like in cross section. Boop. It looks just like bread. How boring. Yep, just looks like bread. Can't even see the layers really. On the sides, you can see the layers. Let's try it in this version, the original version. It just tears apart so beautifully. This is the way you're supposed to eat it. Moist, chewy, sweet, but not overly so. Just fluffy, fantastic. Definitely make this bread. Don't bother going the effort of doing this, in my opinion, when you can just have this in less time. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video. They are hosting a President's Day sale. It's a great time to upgrade. You can receive 25% off your purchase along with a free bedroom bundle for a limited time. Check out their website for more details. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Definitely went over the wheat quota today. We'll probably have to take some sort of antihistamine or my face is gonna blow up and turn nice and bright pink and be itchy, which I don't want already. Give thanks, antihistamines.